Welcome back there, buds. In my last video, we refinished a tiny desk. Now, I found this super tiny desk that is a roll top, but it's all kind of broken and missing and up in there somewhere. The whole thing is all just falling apart. I guess it was found out on a porch. So I guess I pretty much just have to get this one all knocked apart and get everything all re-glued, and it's not really for use, more just for like an ornamental piece. So let's get a closer look at it here. As you can see on this, quite a few parts of this are all cracked, so we'll have to get that glued back together. But luckily it should all just knock apart pretty easily without breaking anything. And I think what I'm going to do first here is knock this top off and try to find that roll that's stuck back in there. See if I can repair that. And just get it all apart. Make it a lot easier to sand. Could probably just sand most of this, don't even have to strip. And I think for the color, we'll try to stick close to what it is. Maybe a hair lighter if some of the wood looks good. But I think the most difficult part might just be trying to fix that roll top. I don't know if all the pieces are there. Sometimes there's usually like a handle down here, so maybe if that part broke off, I don't know if we'll have to make a new piece. I know this canvas on the back, it looks like that just ripped, and that's why it's separated. Like I said, this had set outside. This was this lady's childhood piece that she had growing up and had given it away, and years later she found it. It was wherever she gave it away, it was just sitting out on their porch, and she asked if she could have it back, and now she just wants it to be restored back to its original condition. So let's try to help her out. Well, first things first, before we take anything apart, we'll have to get this back off. So just use this here, and should just all pop right off. So that back panel has so many nails in it, and it's so brittle. It's just all pretty much breaking. I'll just make a new one, so I'm just kind of going crazy with it now, just trying to get it off. And this thing popped at the bottom, and that fell out. And it looks like there might be some stuff living in there. So we will find out. And that might be a treasure map. So could have hit the jackpot here, buds. Well, let's see what we have here. We do have at least one. Oh, we got all kinds of dead spiders, a dead stink bug, a couple dead worms. Then we just got a bunch of old. Doesn't look like treasure maps. They're just some little kids' drawings. And that is supposed to be an elephant. Wow. First day of kindergarten, September 4th, 1958. That was their house that they drew. That's pretty crazy. So that's a lot older than I thought this was. It's even a little tin can here. That's a tin of aspirin. Nothing in there. Pretty cool. Usually you don't find too many things like that in. Says just a really old mechanical pencil. says Scripto, Atlanta, USA. You know, if that usually was made in USA, that means something's pretty old. And this must have been from that roll top. Ooh. So here, and these roll tops are all made like that. It's just a canvas that's glued to many strips of wood, and that's what creates that roll. It goes up and down. I think we're missing quite a few on this piece though, so we might be out of luck here. Let's see. Yeah, we're definitely, I think we're missing probably half of the, yeah, missing a lot there. We'd have to make all new, so I guess we'll see what we should do with this till that time. That could be a fun little thing. I've never actually made one. I've repaired those before on real roll top desks, but never, you know, went through and actually made it. So I think what I'll do now, maybe just get this top off, hit it all with the shop vac, get it all cleaned up a little bit here. And there it is, all knocked apart. Got all the nails pulled out of it. Get a better idea of what all is split and what all needs re-glued. So what I will do is address some of the issues, some of the spots that are split, like on that top there and everything. I will get that glued first. And then, once that's set up, I'm just gonna go ahead and sand most of this. I know you guys like to watch me strip, so maybe we'll just strip that, like that main desk part there, just so we can still get some of that in there for you. But for the most part, I will just use a sander, get all the finish off. It's so much easier when you can knock it apart and just sand it before you re-glue it all back together. So that's what we're gonna do for the most part on this. Well, we got a whole mess of stuff all glued up. So, gotta let all these little bits and pieces dry overnight. Can't really do too much more with this for today. So, let's get old Bucko out for a hike. Come here, Buck. Come here. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Come on. Now that that glue's set up overnight, it's time to get some goop on. And to answer everyone's questions about what stripper am I using, this is my usual go-to stripper. You can pick it up down at your local hardware store. Oh, we're stripping, we're stripping. Well, now that that is stripped, I'll go ahead now and sand that and all the other bits and pieces. One thing I was asked the other day by a fellow woodworker finisher, he said, "Do you really, strip that much?" And I said, "Absolutely not. I use a sander whenever I can. I hate the smell of the fumes, and I just hate stripper in general. But I do like it on some of the flat stuff, or if a finish is pretty heavy. But usually my best go-to is just knocking it all apart, giving it a good sand. I think it saves a lot of time, and it does a much better job. And I think in the long run, it's probably cheaper than using all that stripper. Pretty sure, haven't done the exact math, but I would say sandpaper would probably be a little bit cheaper than the $40-some a gallon that stripper runs. So what I did here is I just rigged up a little vacuum system. Every sander has a little port on the back, and you could just rig it up to any kind of shop vac, and that just sucks up all the dust. Makes cleanup easy, no fumes. So we'll knock these all down here real quick. Alright buds, after I set about maybe doing the math someday, the whole time I was sanding that, which took around, I'd say about 2 hours to sand all that, maybe 2.5, I don't know. It's hard to say in between petting bucko and bathroom breaks and things like that. So anyways, I break it down here into the two methods, the sanding method to the stripper method, and the cost of materials and the cost, or just the amount of time. So for sanding method, I really only used 4 of those discs. Those are 31 cents a piece, so it's $1.24 US dollars. Then figure high estimate, I used 2 sheets of sandpaper. Even if I did, that's around $1.60. So all in all, it's $2.84 for all the materials for the sanding method, and it's done. You don't have to do anything more, and like I said, it takes maybe 2 to 3 hours, figure. So then that, if you would strip it, I estimated strippers roughly $40 a gallon, and if you would use probably around 16 ounces on a piece like that, you're looking at $5 just in stripper. So then when you go to clean it up, with a scuff pad or whatever, with some lacquer thinner or whatever type of thinner of your choosing to get the stripper cleaned off and everything. Lacquer thinner is around $16 a gallon. If you use 8 ounces, you're looking at $1. For steel wool pads, they're like 36 cents a piece. For you use 2, that's 72 cents. Plus throw in expensive rags, you're looking at $1 or more. So then you also have to sand, but I knocked off a little bit for the sanding because you wouldn't use as much sandpaper, obviously. But all in all, you're looking at $9.14, plus I figured probably more time for that extra step of the stripping and the sanding. So you're probably looking at 3 to 4 hours for that process. So all in all, if you strip and do everything, you're looking at $9.14. If you sand it, $2.84, and you save a little bit of time, and you can't put a price on time because we only have so much of that. I'll just put up a picture of this, of my crazy math in my head. And I'm sure this goes without saying too, that you wouldn't be able to do sanding method on most furniture that it wouldn't really be that helpful if you couldn't really knock the piece fully apart to get at all the pieces easily. And if there was any kind of detail carvings, you would obviously have to strip it. But for any types of pieces like simple furniture that's mostly flat, you can get it apart and needs re-glued anyways. My go-to usually just sand it. And it's a little better for Mother Earth as well. Well, I was all ready to get this started to glue back up. Then I got a phone call. And I heard one of my favorite things that anyone ever says to me is, "Hey, I have this idea. Do you think we could do this?" Of course. That's one of my favorite questions because I'm always up for a new challenge and just figuring something out. So we got to talking. She loves to collect deer, and this is just going to be a focal piece, just sitting in her house. Just a little knick-knack to sit here or there. So she said, "Is there any way that you could, put deer on this or anything like that?" I said, "Well, I could probably like wood burn something on, do something like that." And then she said, "Well, actually, her ex, he had passed. He was an amazing leather craftsman. So she did some digging in her attic. She pulled out some of these old purses that he had handcrafted. I don't know if you can see that. The detail is quite intricate. It's amazing the whole way around. So this was one of the purses that she didn't really care about losing. She brought me a few just to look at, and they were amazing. So what I'm gonna do, what she wants to do, is if we could cut this out here and put this up on the top. This is the top piece. And then here's these little roses. And I said, well, maybe that wouldn't be a bad idea. That'd be pretty nice to put them on the two. These are the top sides. And then one more. This was his signature marking tool. It's just a little punch. So that has his initials on. And I think what I will do, just here and there around the piece, just punch it in so whenever I stain it, it'll get dark and you'll be able to really see that. So what I'm gonna do now, cut these out, and then I'll just place one here just to show you, give you a good idea of what I'm sort of thinking of, and then my next step in that process. And that there is sort of the idea I have in mind. That one will be on the top, and the two sides, they'll look something like that. And then what I'm going to do is I will route a channel, take like that size, route that out so it's sitting flush with the surface on all of these. And then I want to carve a little, almost like a little detail around it, just to make it almost look like, sort of like, almost like the leather working, just make it all kind of blend in. But I think we'll do that next time. Well, buds, I guess we'll call it quits for that one. In part 2, I'm going to show you more of that carving that I was talking about. We're going to make a new roll top, and then we'll get, I think we'll probably get all the stain, the finish done in part 2 as well. I didn't want to overwhelm you with too much on part 1. But TGIF, it's Friday. Drink from your beer, or whatever you want to drink. But one thing that I ask of you is always just subscribe, please. Follow along, hit that bell and everything so you can see all the future projects and videos I have coming out. And one request that I do have this time, give me your top 3 current albums. Whatever band or whoever you're listening to. I love listening to music in the shop here, and I just seem to be on a repeat, and I think it would be fun just to share, the music that we love. So give me some ideas and I will drop my 3 favorite albums currently right now. Thanks for watching.